freedom comes at a cost, right? The West paid a very heavy price for that. What the girls have started doing or have been practicing or have been ill-advised, that they go to the police, file a wrong case.
Correct.
In order to implicate the groom or their family.
Correct.
They implicate grandfather, grandmother, they give everyone name. And police simply takes it because they may have a soft corner or they may be also, their palms could be greased.
Who is more likely to cheat, men or women nowadays?
See, the question of cheating is who gets caught. In Tinder, all you have is prostitution nowadays, right? There are only women offering money, sex for money, right? You don't expect true love to be available on Tinder. Because of this, also they have also low fertility rate because they do not want to have one or more than one child nowadays.
Correct.
Because that will take up more time and that requires women to stay more at home, which she doesn't want. It's also contributing to the falling population of us in that way. Who will run the family? Who will send the kids to the school? Who will get their homework done? There's no one.
So today we have with us distinguished Abhishek Mishra sir, who is a renowned legal expert and an influential political commentator. He is a highly respected lawyer, a very dedicated teacher, and accomplished author. He also has his own YouTube channel where you can see him delving into issues with profound legal, political, and constitutional implications. He is an ocean of knowledge. In today's discussion, we will be addressing a sensitive yet crucial topic: why divorce rates are increasing among software engineers. This is one of the most unfortunate issues currently affecting our tech community. Thank you so much, sir, for joining and taking your time to share your insights. I'm confident that today's talk will be an eye opener for many.
Thank you, Abhinavji, and thanks for a very generous introduction. I must say that. I'm sure you are equally a man of great knowledge and repute. So we hope our today's deliberation and discussion would be fruitful for your viewers and listeners. I will try my best to make it as interesting and as informative as possible. So thanks for inviting me.
Thank you, sir. So let me start with the direct question. So, what do you believe are the primary factors which are contributing to the rising divorce rates among software engineers? Because we know that divorce rates are definitely increasing. But what do you think are the primary reasons behind that?
With this caveat, I mean, since as a lawyer we are trained to see things from two perspectives. One is question of law, another is question of fact. What you have asked me, Abhinavji, is essentially constitute the question of fact. And if, in order to give a very authoritative and scientific answer, one needs to carry out scientific studies as to find out that what are the primary reasons that the software professionals are falling, their marriages are falling apart, if I may say so. But nevertheless, if I simply think out a little bit loud, I can say that with the experience of my own friends and the surroundings in which I live, where lots of people are from software background, one can see that the work pressure is immense. The pressure to deliver the product, pressure deadlines, plus you have these, we used to call it body shopping, or now you can call it talent acquisition through the companies, and then sending these persons abroad on their payroll, minting more money than they should, which sometimes creates a gap in the social and the family life of the software professionals. The rising aspirations of both the spouses also contributes to the failing marriages, because both of them see each other or see themselves as what do you call, deserving candidates for achieving more in their life. Perhaps they sometimes don't achieve how they don't achieve that much as much they would expect themselves to be. So these could be the multiple reasons, because nowadays, when children are being reared in the family, be it the female child or a male child, the aspiration for career is instilled in a way which simply overtakes all other aspect of life. So a girl is or a boy, both of them are what you call fascinated and passionate about their career. And career takes the center stage in their life. All other aspects of the life, for example, motherhood, family balance, work life balance, contribution to their society in a way which is other than financial or monetary, has taken a back seat. So I think we should also uh, have a peep into our social life. How are we rearing our children? Are we instilling them the family values, or are we simply making robots who are there to acquire more knowledge in order to get jobs and earn little bit good money? That is their whole and sole ambition. And when they are grown with this kind of mindset, when they learn this from their family and their surrounding, that how competitive the environment is, perhaps all other factors in their life becomes trivial with respect to the career aspect of their life. So these are the primary factors that comes to my mind as of now. I'm sure there may be other reasons which could only be unearthed by a scientific study.
Got it, got it. Nowadays, money, you must be hearing that the freshers are earning 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs per annum whenever they graduate in IT, right? And after a few years, they are earning 80 lakhs, 90 lakhs. Can that be the primary reason, that because the money inflow, like the amount of money which a young, either be a boy or girl, they are earning so much that their ambitions have grown a lot, and they are trying to impose that ambition on each other while finding the partner. Can that be the reason
Yes,
also?
I mean, you sure? I'm sure not. Except I guess no one gets these fat packages of 40 lakhs or 50 lakhs per annum to start with. I mean, most of the ordinary engineering college, where the bulk of our software man force or software talent pool comes out from, they get a very modest pay scale of, let's say, 5 lakh per annum, 6 lakh per annum. They start with this, and then they scale it up through the corporate, what you call hike in salary, change of the company, whatever, or acquiring new skills. I don't know how does that function. So yeah, I mean, money is certainly a factor, because as I said, the obsession for career, that all my only identity is my career. I love my software, I love my work, I love my these things. And when you have that much obsession, you simply are not in a position to think about your family, or you do not have enough time left to think about your family. And let's say, even if you have a family, do you think they would sacrifice their career to raise a family? No. And if they are raising a family, one person gets always grumpy with respect to his or her counterpart, that you are not doing this part, you should have done this, you should have done that. So I mean, it becomes difficult for a woman to also take care of family and the grueling time schedule or grueling work schedule that she has in her offices. And because of that, she is unable to take the extremely pressing and extremely cumbersome responsibility of family. I mean, that perhaps bring in her kind of despondency, kind of dissatisfaction, disenchantment with the partner, disenchantment with the achievement that she has made so far. Her aspirations and her responsibilities simply do not match, or they are disproportionate in the yardstick of satisfactory lifestyle. So conflicting responsibilities and conflicting aspirations are one of the reasons, because now women do not see themselves as the primary player in family chores. They want the male spouse to take equal amount of responsibility so that they can also satisfy their career. So it's that kind of theoretical disaster that you want women to have freedom. You also want them to have a load of work, household chores, which is impossible for them to take. So you need to, the society need to go back to the table and think that when our children are growing up, are we instilling enough family values in them, or we are simply nurturing those talents who only think in terms of success, in terms of career, in terms of packages, in terms of where do I get job in Mumbai, in New York, or all these things, So these kind of aspirations in the life, and complete devoidness of its correlation with the satisfaction that the family life gives, creates a conflicting what you call situation for an individual. What should she or he choose, career or family? Because balancing is difficult. You are more outside than in the home. You have onshore, offshore placements. Who will run the family? Who will send the kids to the school? Who will get their homework done? There's no one, and nanny cannot do perhaps everything. You can't rear your children with nannies, and because of this, also they have also low fertility rate, because they do not want to have one or more than
Correct.
one child nowadays,
Correct.
because that will take up more time, and that requires women to stay more at home, which she doesn't want. It's
Right.
also contributing to the falling population of us in that ways. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's a really concerning issue as well. The falling
it is indeed.
yeah. So coming on to like there are various apps nowadays, matrimony apps. So earlier there never used to be these apps, matrimony apps. So now do you think that these matrimony apps, like there are so many options for us that we keep on scrolling, like one people can have 20, 30 options, and they still keep on texting each other, and still they are not sure whether they want to marry or they don't want to marry. So the marriage now has become more of a contract rather than is very sacred. What do we call it, a sacred thing. It has now become a contract where they say, okay, this package is
Sacrosanct,
matching.
we call it. Yes, you're right.
Yes, yes. So what do you think that can these apps to be like, are these apps to be blamed for that, these
I
new
don't.
tech
I,
apps?
the apps are catering to the growing age of individuals like me and other who have crossed the age of marriages and yet find themselves lonely, and that's what I'm saying. See, it's a theoretical problem of we need to understand that it's because of this reason that on one hand you are aspiring for a family when you have crossed the age of family creation. On the other hand, when you are at the prime of your age, you have only one aspiration, and that to achieve careers. So when
Correct.
the age of marriage, when you could make certain sacrifices for each other, when you fall in love with each other, when that age is past, people are not falling in love with each other. Rather, in the school and colleges, they have now uh, come to a conclusion that we can have an transactional relationship, right?
Right. Right.
No string attached, and these kind of terms are now becoming more popular with the
Correct.
younger generation. It may sound good in the early days of your life. It may
Correct.
sound very very what you call vogue and very modern, and it may make you kind of sapiosexual or whatever it is. But at the same time, when you cross that age, 30s, and when you cross 35, both male and female, they find that it is difficult for them to meet with the men of their dream or the women of their dream, because their expectations are so bloody high and so unrealistic that it becomes impossible for them to trace them over a particular picture or few details of an individual.
Good.
marriages were basically a phenomena where both the family would have involved in the early days. They will come together, the boy and a girl will see each other, they will give it in the matrimonial relationship, and then they will create matrimonial relationship, or the institution of marriage. Marriage is just not tying your knot by taking sat feras and all that.
Correct.
Marriage is a journey. You grow into each other, and then you become inseparable to each other. Now that's not there. No one is willing to first of all, are girls willing to get married as at an early age of 22, 23, 24? None of them
No.
want to get married. They want to enjoy their freedom, and I have nothing against it. Same for the male. By the time they get the desired job, or desired financial independence, they are already in their 30s, right? So the thing is that you may not want a child marriage, but one should think of an early marriage, right? I mean, there are some matrimonial ages where the boy and the girl should come and find themselves in the matrimonial alliance. Because if you cross that age, no matter how funky you may sound to your friends that, hey dude, there is a spice in the life, there's this, that in the life, but then at the fag end of your life, or in the middle age of your life, you'll find yourself pretty lonely, and without any company, which will simply haunt you. And that's where the matrimonial apps comes in, and now you have Second Lives, Tinder. I've been on Tinder, I've been on Bumble. In Tinder, all you have is prostitution nowadays, right? There are only women offering money, sex for money, right?
Correct.
You don't expect true love to be available on Tinder, unless until you are exceptionally lucky or something. We have
Correct.
also heard so many criminal cases that have taken place because of the Tinder thing. That how the girls have simply trapped the what you call net of
Mhm.
false love or pretentious love, and then extracting money from their match. So things have become ugly, and I don't think these apps are of any use, including the
Got it.
shadi.coms and all that. The shadi may take place, but it also goes into drain with the same speed as you get married,
Got
right?
it.
Because sometimes you realize that, oh, I married to a wrong person, and since you have the facility to take divorce, people lap it up with both hands and say that, all right, the decision was horrendous, I'm not here to spend more time with you, or I don't have that much patience. Because in any relationship, we have to have patience. If you don't
Correct.
have patience, no relationship will work. Relationship basically means sacrifices. Relationship basically means giving it time. It means patience. It means tolerating all the nonsenses which otherwise you will not. So
Got it.
nowadays people don't have the patience for that, and neither do they want to spend their life uh, patiently. That okay, my spouse will one day behave according to my expectation, or she would, or he would simply transform himself or herself according to my expectation. No one wants to spend their time. Plus, you have opened the life, you have opened the space for men and women. They are coming together. Extra matrimonial or extramarital affairs are now simply an order of the day, right? it's it's
Correct.
it's no more surprising that you find that either the girl has a paramour, or boy is dating someone despite having a wife and all that. So
So yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So
so I mean, see, freedom comes at a cost, right? The West paid a very heavy price for that. In
yes,
India,
yes.
we are aping,
Correct.
right? West's freedom has costed them their family value system. It's gone.
True.
Now they have become individualistic. Since their state is powerful, and state can afford to be powerful because they have to manage very handful people, number of people. For example, Denmark manages less than a crore people. Germany manages eight crore people. France manages 8 crore people. UK manages 8 crore people. India have to manage 1.4 billion people. Their
Correct.
freedom and the freedom that the women nowadays have is they are without looking into the consequences of the individual freedom that it has, that how it has impacted the Western lifestyle. We are aping them. You go into your colleges and the universities and the campuses, you find people talking very shallowly without understanding anything. No, I
Correct.
want to wear anything. Why should you stop me and all that? It's okay. You are free to wear. but then there are so many attractions that you perhaps are not able to handle.
Correct.
You fall for certain things which you end up regretting, and then whom to blame? Instead of looking inside, most of us are finding blames in others, and that's not the way society should function. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So let us suppose like we have to marry, right? That is a truth. So once we are married, so there are chance there like there will be divorces also. So once there are divorces, so what do you think about the law? Like who gets more favored? Is it man or woman? Like we always see. I don't know if it is a rumor or not that the laws are meant for women. So how much truth is there in that, or what are your opinion on that? Because I'm not from the law background, so I have no idea about that. That law really favors the woman, and if I marry at an early age, so like we have heard about that famous celebrity case where he's saying that I have given 70% of the property to my parents and all that thing. So what are your opinion on that thing?
See, yes, one part of it, of your statement, is absolutely correct. Laws have been made, or laws are made favoring women, and there's a constitutional mandate to that extent. Also, if you read Article 15, Clause 3 of the Constitution of India, it simply allows, or what do you say? It simply empowers the state to make special laws for child and women. So that's the reality we have to live with. It. There's no harm in making more favorable laws for women. The harm is that when those laws are misused or exploited to to settle the score, or to simply make someone's life a living hell. These kind of actions by certain women has brought have brought a bad experience for men, which is also making them look at suspiciously to the legal framework in which they live. Normally, what happens that divorce under Section 13 of the Hindu Marriages Act has to have certain grounds, because you cannot have marriages dissolved by the court on whimsical ground. Like in Islam, one of the problem with the divorce is that you don't have to have a ground. That means, first of all, in Islam, only a man can give the divorce. The woman cannot give the divorce. What woman has is a khula. And
Okay.
the another problem with the Islamic marriage is that it has no grounds required to dissolve the marriage. It's absolute, what you call, freedom of a man to dissolve the marriage if he thinks so. He doesn't have to give any reasoning, whatever be the ground for which he wants to dissolve the marriage. Is not required under the law to pronounce that.
So
Whereas,
isn't it sorry to interrupt. So isn't it an attractive option for Hindu men to if we can have the same laws in our Hindu law, why do we are like on one side we are talking about equality, on one side we are talking about favoring women. So what do you take on that thing? That we are saying that we have to uplift them, so for that those laws are made, and sometimes we are talking about equality, and we have seen numerous cases where men are implicated in the false cases as well. So
see,
yeah.
See, equality is achieved sometimes through negative equality. That means you have to do affirmative actions, you have to do positive things by supporting someone who is weak in the society. So that is okay. That's substantive justice, a substantive equality, because absolute equality is a farce. For example, if you were born in a rich family, you could have access to Akash coaching, plus the most plush school of your area, the most sophisticated lifestyle. You didn't have to worry about food, money, and other things. And then one person studied under those circumstances. He or she went to the coaching, learned the tricks to compete, to qualify the exam. With respect to the person who simply studied in a very remote school in a village, where they didn't have proper facility, they didn't have good teachers, they didn't have even language favoring them because they were speaking in their local language, whereas the most of the entrance exam in India are conducted in English. which simply creates a handicap from the very word go for those students who do not have English as their medium of education. So absolute equality is a nonsensical thing. It cannot be there. Equality, you finding yourself in a meritorious situation just by the luck of your life, that where you were born. If you were born in Mani family, me and you cannot compare with Anant, right? There's no way that we should even dream of that thing. So law does give promotion sometimes by favoring them through laws. There's no harm in that. The question that you are raising is not the problem of law; it's the problem of misuse of law, right? So you have internet. If you want to watch a porn on it, that's your wish, or you can use it for very constructive purposes to learn, to download books, to read books, to do many things, right?
Correct.
So it's on you. It's for you to decide how you want to make use of internet. If you want to waste it for pornographic material, what you call internet, would you blame internet for that? No, internet have all kind of materials. It's for you to choose. Similarly, law will promote those who are weaker in the society, and law should do that. That's the part of the law. But misuses are, yes, they are worrisome. Now the courts are taking cognizance of that matter. For example, most of the matrimonial dispute starts with a criminal, because in legal sense, a cause of action is civil or a cause of action is criminal. Sometimes the same cause of action can be a civil and a criminal both. But without indulging into the legal jargon, most of the legal proceedings for a divorce of a marriage is a civil proceeding. Civil proceeding simply means no involvement of police, no involvement of jail, no punishment as a consequence of the remedy that will be granted by the court, right? When you say criminal action, it means the remedy that will be awarded by the court to the victim would be a punishment granted to the accused. That means jail term, fine, death penalty, whatever it is, which is not the case with the civil action. Now the thing is that in most of the matrimonial dispute, what the girls have started doing or have been practicing or have been ill-advised, that they go to the police, file a wrong case
Correct.
in order to implicate the groom or their family.
Correct.
They implicate grandfather, grandmother, they give everyone name. And police simply takes it because they may have a soft corner, or they may be also, their palms could be greased, you know what I mean. So the question is that the question is that if you have started a criminal proceeding for, let's say, divorce, for, let's say, dowry, right, or any matrimonial or what you call domestic violence, then the things become ugly for the groom's side. Because if you are simply going and filing a divorce petition, no one would perhaps mind as much, because they don't have to face the wrath or the ignominy of dealing with the police. Because it's still in the society, it is not considered a good thing if you have to go to a police station, or even if, God forbid, you have to spend a night in the police lockup. It is not at all seen as something positive in the society, or not appreciated by the society at all. So my point is that this kind of tactics, arm twisting tactics, that I file a criminal case, I file a dowry case, I file a domestic violence case, and in lieu of these charges, or in lieu of taking back these charges, I may extract some money here and there. I may ask for better alimony to be given to me, or I may simply, settle for something more in property and inheritance than I deserve. These kind of tactics have simply brought bad repute to the causes of divorce. Any woman can be a victim of a man's excessiveness. Similarly, a man can also be a victim of the women excessiveness. Both of them, if they do not want to be in the matrimonial lock, they should simply go to the court under Section 13 and file it on the grounds that are mentioned. Now, in form of Section 13B, Courts have the statute have granted them the power to simply dissolve the marriage for irretrievable differences. Before, the courts used to find, whether there was cruelty, or whether there were grounds mentioned in the facts which are leading to divorce between two married couple. Now in section 13b, the courts have allowed the what you call the married couple to look for marriage through mutual consent, right? That means we can't live together. So you don't have to go and implicate my family in criminal proceedings just to settle your score. You simply go under 13B and say the court that, okay, we have no grounds. It's just that we can't live with each other. We don't like each other. We are not attracted to anymore. We don't have physical attraction left between us. We don't have any love left between us. And this alliance of marriage is burdensome now on us. It's taking on our life. It's not giving me the satisfaction that it should have given me. So please, we both have agreed that time has come to part our ways. Dissolve it. The statutes have given you that kind of things. And why to go to police actions and all that?
But
Why
if
to
yeah, so
terrify the
yeah, so if someone has a bad intent, like and so in that case, I have heard that people go with the prenups. So are the prenups valid in India, or like, and what are prenups exactly? Uh,
prenup? See, prenups means prenuptial contracts.
okay.
So when you are going to, nuptial means marriage. It's another word for English. It's a synonym for the word marriage. So sometimes you say I'm getting married, or you say that I'm going for nuptial ties. Okay. So prenuptial contracts are heavily practiced in United States of America, where both the parties, if they are rich, they simply agree into pre-marriage settlement of matrimony disputes, especially in terms of maintenance and alimony. So they will say that if we go for marriages, we already decide that not more than this part would ever be claimed, because sometimes what happens, that they become victim of the negotiation and the mediation process of these two lawyers coming together and then debating and discussing that what kind of alimony the partner should get, right? So nowadays, in order to safeguard their property, in America, they have started practicing the pre-marriage dispute resolution. That in case the marriage goes to flush, we will simply have these kind of alimony given to you, not more than this, not more than that. Both the parties agree to it, and since it's a contract, the courts have in America been enforcing it. I have not seen myself how the Indian courts have dealt with the prenuptial agreements, if there are any, and if it is a practice coming up, whether the legitimacy of prenuptial contract will be considered in India, because in India, marriages are not contract. It's a sacrosanct relationship. It's a samskara. So I would have a hard time to subject the matrimonial relationship from the perspective of contractual understanding between these two spouses prior to marriage. I would not be entertaining them, that you can sit down and then first decide that if the marriage goes into drain, how should we part our ways in terms of financial understanding. That's something I wouldn't have accepted, because it's first not a contract. Like Islamic law, India, marriages are not contract. They are samskaras, because men and women are considered half of the humanity. Only when they come together, they will they will bring the humanity
That's
together.
beautiful.
So
Yeah.
there are statutory provisions in form of CRPC 125 maintenance, plus the Hindu Marriages Act, which empowers the court to think diligently and award appropriate alimony and maintenance to the man and the woman both. Because under Indian Marriages Act, the alimony is not just the only women is not entitled for alimony. It's man also who is entitled for alimony from a woman. If the woman is doing very good, for example, in a case, a man married to a good, very nice woman, but then he met with an accident, he got crippled, he couldn't walk and all, and then he asked his wife to look after him. Wife refused to do that, sought divorce from him, and once the divorce proceeding was taking place in the court, the man said that, okay, I'm ready to give her a divorce, but then under section 27 of the Hindu Marriages Act, I should be getting an alimony, a maintenance by the women, because I'm crippled, I can't take care of myself. And the court rightly granted him the alimony. So
Good.
those men who do not know this, you are also entitled. If your wife is earning better and she's leaving you for a better career option, you can always ask for maintenance and alimony from her also.
Oh, okay. So the court entertains that.
Yeah, it's a statutory right of a man.
Got it. Got it. So, do you think the remote work culture, especially in which we have seen post-pandemic, almost every company have tried this model, has impacted the relationship, be it positively or negatively?
As I told you that nowadays the role of wife is not of a wife. She's a financial contributor, and she asserts her identity that way. If your wife is sole caretaker of a family, then she would be more than happy to see you all the time. But if she also goes to office, you also go to office, she also have a work pressure, you also have a work pressure, that is spending more time together, and then this added responsibility of a workplace would simply ruin the marriages. I mean, one can do a study that what is the status of relationship where both the parties are working and working from home, from those where one of the party is only working from the home and the other party is a homemaker. So how these two couples are behaving with each other. So let's say there is a girl who has married a software engineer, but the girl is a simple housemaker. She takes care of the house. And then with compared to that, there is a couple where both men and women are working, and both are working from home. How are they taking care of the responsibilities that they have? I mean, this should be a great study for someone to conduct to get a better data to observe
Got
the
it.
behavior.
Got it. So, last two questions I have. So, the first, this one is little controversial. So, who is more likely in your legal career? You must have seen who is more likely to cheat, men or women nowadays.
See, the question of cheating is who gets caught. So the chances of men getting caught are much higher than the women getting caught. I would say they are equally prone to cheating. And as I told you, nowadays, when the venues of interaction between men and women have been simply opened up like never before, so these kind of options that who is more prone to cheating is a moot question. Women are also now exercising their liberty, and then they don't consider the cheating thing. So, the question is, what is cheating? Some women says that, okay, I'm married, I'm not allowing someone to go that far, to the final extent of relationship of the sexual act. So if I'm into just kissing, if I'm just into caressing, little bit of here and there, that's not a fact. That's not an act of sex. Where the man could be as sensitive that even if you thought about someone, that is for me cheating, right? So what amounts to cheating would be a very debatable question, because I think women are becoming more and more assertive when it comes to their sexual liberty, and they don't see kissing once or twice another man perhaps a cheating. I mean, some of them not even consider going a little farther than cheating. So, I mean, it depends. Women have more chances because they will have more men approaching them. With respect to men, they won't have that chances. आप किसको approach कर लेंगे? How many girls can you approach? I mean, men are normally scared of, unless until you are, what you call, endowed with some kind of charismatic personality, that you are, you're just a ladies' man, and you carry that awe persona, that you walk in the society and then all the women are looking back at you. This is kind of, I don't have that kind of personality. If I pass by an area, then women doesn't even notice me that I was ever existing in that locality. So I would have less chances to to be prone to cheating. But I would give it 50-50, both men and women, this thing. But I would request Indian girls to look into the West. They have gone crazy. Now the Western men are looking for women from Asia. They are not willing to marry their local girls because of this excessive freedom that they have. They have started asserting, and the nonsensical thing, the countless body count. One may understand one or two experiences, or 3-4 experiences if you're that exploratory. But just to mindlessly doing it would not be something appreciated by men. So you can see nowadays in Europe, in America, they are discussing with the women that you are shouting, you are shrill, you are a dominant, you simply abuse men for all the reasons God knows that you have been suffering or not, or just in your imagination. So the men-women relationship has gone for a toss in Western society. So I would request our girls to simply not go on that path. You can be free and independent within the Indian context, and this thing, so that the family system functions. It's important. At the end of the day, when you will be in your 30s, it's the family that counts. It's the family that counts, because otherwise you'll be very lonely. And I'm telling you, I'm at 43. I feel fucking lonely many a times, that I feel I should have someone to speak to, someone to talk to. I want my own child. I want my own this thing. And at this age, it becomes very difficult. You may have thousands of apps. You may have thousands of opportunity to have sex, but then at one point of time, you give up on that. You don't want mindless sex. You rather want to have a good, cozy time with a companionship. With the intention of companionship. That is more arousing than indulging into meaningless physical activity.
Got it. Got it. So the last question. So what legal advice would you like to give to young software engineers who are just starting out their careers and earning a handsome amount of money, and they are planning to get married since they are settled, right? So what is the advice for both men and women you have?
I would first of all say, I don't know how much would that be practical, but then since you asked, I would first recommend both of them not to be having very strenuous job for themselves. If both of them are hell bent on working, then one should take the strenuous job, other should take a little, comforting job. Don't go after money and car and buildings, the houses and everything. And life is very, very short. 70, let's say, is an average in India. At 67, but rather, it passes like this. All your cars and vehicles and the flashy bungalows will stay here. And if you simply couldn't get the required love and the care and affection and the good time, these are meaningless. So I would say girls should be independent. They should go for financial independence, but at the same time, they should also think about family. The boys also should think the same way, that they should contribute and help and understand the pain that their spouse goes through in taking care of their family. Don't think that if a woman is staying back home, so she's doing nothing, and just because you're outside home and bringing money in the house, you are basically the one who is provider. This kind of nonsensical approach is also very dangerous, because the household chores are very difficult and very tiring. I tell you that, to keep your house clean and shining and tidy, it takes loads of effort. Even if someone has a helping hand, it takes loads of effort. So you should sometime work together, spend a moment in the kitchen together. Just because there's a woman, she shouldn't be obliged to cook or obliged to be treated like a maid. And at the same time, women should also think that they are the one who are nurturer. God has made them nurturer. Nature has made them caring. It's the woman who always asks, "Khana khaye ki nahi khaye?" right? My father would never ask me on phone, "Beta khana khaye ki nahi hai?" But my mother's first question would be, "Khana khaye ki nahi khaye?" Right? So it's your job. Why are you depriving of yourself? And these feminism, the Western feminism, has a different social background. It's not at all required in India. In India, feminism is not required because you have in India the women are at least philosophically in a much better situation than the Western women. If there are some problem in the society, you can ask for those problems. This could be redressed, but within the Indian context. I'm not saying the West is bad. West is very good. There's nothing wrong with the West, but that's their lifestyle. We have a different lifestyle. Don't ape. I'm not saying it. We are good. They are bad. The West is also phenomenally beautiful. I have dealt with the Western people. They're nice people. They also value the family system, and they are very sad that it is going to the drain. Save our families.
Got it. Thank you so much, Abhishek sir, for taking out your time today and sharing a very important aspect. Like tech is also an important aspect, but this marriage is also one of the most important aspect. And I really love the neutrality you maintained. Like you being men could have favored the man, but you being neutral for both men and women and gave a very neutral point of view, which will be really helpful for both the parties here. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.